YouTube, Awesome Writer here. Welcome to my last review in this recent trilogy of Ben 10 specials for Alien X-tinction, which might be the series finale. I honestly had no idea. I know back when they did the Ben 10 movie, the versus the universe or whatever, I saw that they were going to be doing more specials. Like, instead of it being like 10-minute episodes like usual, it was going to be like, oh, the iCarly special, but like for Ben 10. But I didn't know this might be the last season. I've only seen something about that. One Wikipedia page says it's the last season, but everywhere else it just says kind of like, who knows, we're not sure what's next. I kind of hope it isn't, because I'd like to see the franchise continue. I don't know. If you guys know anything more than I do, let me know in the comments. I couldn't find a ton. But I thought I would address that because I'm going to approach this on it being a possible series finale for this iteration, since it is kind of a cool premise for that, and I'm not sure where they would go next. But basically, I thought this was a cool episode. Anyway, until next time, no. I thought it was a cool episode. There were two main things that bothered me, which I'll get to. But the basic premise is you have an Alien X running around, and if you don't remember or don't know, Alien X was the 10th alien first introduced in the Alien Force series. They kind of left it up to a mystery, which was kind of cool. And we found out it was basically this uber powerful alien that could warp reality. It could do everything from give itself super strength to change you into an inside-out dog or something. Like, it could do crazy stuff. But in order to do that, it had three personalities, which was Ben and then the other two, and they all had to agree by a majority vote on what to do. Later in Omniverse, they managed to create the situation where he was able to use a limited version of his abilities, so he didn't just get stuck in a debate every time. But in this one, you have Alien X running around collecting a bunch of different Omnitrixes, and we open up with him stealing an Omnitrix from one similar version to our Ben, who is then saved by an alternate version of our Max. And then we learned he's basically traveling in time, protecting all these Bens that are being attacked by Alien X, who's stealing their Omnitrixes. And his Ben was a version pretty close to Omniverse Ben. And that's when we realized, if you didn't already know, this is going to be basically a team-up episode between all the proper versions of Ben we've gotten in the series. And his version was basically very close to the Omniverse one. He's wearing sort of the classic Omniverse style. He's got the classic Omniverse watch, the Omniverse forearms design. Everything is like kind of in their series art style of the series it came from, but also in the art style of this series, which kind of works with the Alien X thing, because also, speaking of Alien X, it was revealed in Omniverse, like, the reason for the art styles looking different or aliens changing is celestial sapiens, the species that Alien X come from, are constantly changing the universe and stuff, and I thought that was a really cool, funny explanation for why certain things will change throughout the series. But I thought that was kind of a funny coincidence that you have all these other designs coming in from previous series in the episode that has to do with the celestial sapien transformation. But basically, this version of Grandpa Max is surviving, is him going around now and trying to save different Bens, and that's when he meets our Ben, and then we eventually meet, first off, Alien Force Ben, who shows up as Chromastone, and that was really cool, and I think they got Chromastone's proper voice back and everything too, and it was cool, but it was funny too, because he's like, oh, it's a diamond head. I thought it was kind of a funny play off of how, you know, there was a lot of talk back during the Alien Force days of how much of a ripoff the Alien Force aliens were of the originals, and then they wound up tying Chromastone's storyline to Diamond Heads, so I thought that was kind of funny. But basically, they all start working together, and Ben doesn't have his Omnitrix anymore, our proper Ben. And so they're trying to figure out a way to do that, to get it back, and to continue to fight this guy and recruit other Bens. And they're fighting off against the Alien X, and then they eventually come up with a plan to recruit more Bens. And so then they get Ultimate Alien Ben, which is, it's funny because he's basically the same as Alien Force Ben. Like, they look identical, except one has the Ultimatrix and one has the Omnitrix. And then they eventually get Original Series Ben, Gwen 10, and then another Omniverse Ben that's wearing the hoodie. I found it funny that Omniverse Ben did have a proper look, but he often would wear that hoodie, which gave them a good opportunity to have two different versions. But then you have Alien Force and Ultimate Alien Ben, which are basically the same design. And I was like, man, I wish he would have had a secondary outfit. That would have made things so much easier. But you have all them teaming up and transforming together. And it was pretty cool to see. Like, they're all done in this style. They did get Yuri back to voice him, which was neat. They're all done in the new series style, which was kind of weird. And it was kind of funny too, because I felt like sometimes they tried to get the old Omnitrixes from Omniverse and Ultimate Alien, or Omniverse, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien Ben to sound similar to the way it did in the original series, but not quite. Like when Kid Ben from the original series transformed, I was disappointed we didn't hear the classic Omnitrix effects. I don't know why, I just love the sound effects from the original series Omnitrix. I'm disappointed I didn't get to hear that. But we do get transformation sequences for all of them, which are basically like theirs from their original series, but done up a little bit in this style, which was kind of cool. And I liked little details like that. And I liked little details like when Alien Force and Ultimate Alien Ben transformed, they shouted out the names like they did in that series, like Big Chill. The changes they did were kind of weird. Like, he did Big Chill, he did Chroma Stone. I think that was it for Alien Force Ben. I think Omniverse Ben only did blocks, which was an interesting choice. And then Ultimate Alien Ben, if I remember right, only ever used Amphibian, which was weird. Why didn't they want to use an ultimate form? It's not like, oh my god, I want to see it because of shallow things, but I just thought it was weird because it was a good way to differentiate him. And especially since the main version of Ben in this has so many different power-up forms throughout the series with the Omni Enhanced and Omni Kicks, I don't know why they didn't want to use ultimate version just to differentiate him even more, and he just kept only using Amphibian. And like, they transform individually, and then when they all come together later to transform, I thought they might use different ones, but they didn't. Maybe it's an animation budget region, but I was a little disappointed, mainly because there's certain aliens I wanted to see we haven't seen in a long time from these older series. Gwen 10 used Ripjaws, which was kind of nice, because poor Ripjaws hardly ever gets any love. And Classic Ben used Heat Blast, and then when our Ben got his Omnitrix Blast, he used Heat Blast, and he was like, couldn't you have picked a different alien? He's like, what can I say? It's a classic. Which I thought was kind of funny. Yet again, though, disappointed we didn't get Steve Blum back to voice Heat Blast. Like, there was lots of little details they tried to do to call back to the way the old series were with noises and effects and voices. They didn't get it for all of them, which was just a little bit disappointing. I wasn't expecting them to go huge on it, but still, it was kind of neat. But basically, they defeat our Alien X, and surprise, surprise, which you basically could have guessed from the beginning even before they hinted at it, but it's a version of Ben, a future version of Ben that basically he lost Gwen and Max in a battle. They were helping him with the battle when he asked them not to, and they were in a battle with Vilgax, and they got themselves killed. And now Ben is so upset that he lost his partners and family that he doesn't want any other Bens to have anything. So he wants to go around and take it away. It's a bit of a weird, convoluted explanation, and I'm not sure how it worked where after his family was killed, he like smashed the Omnitrix until he turned into Alien X. I was very confused by that. I know this is a kid's show, but I'm not sure. Again, especially with how Alien X's powers work, and like 3 out of the 5 other Bens come from dimensions where they've used Alien X, so that bit was very confusing to me. And the motivation, this is where my 2 main problems come in, is the motivations for him were kind of strange. I think they could have worked if they tweaked a little bit, and it was very tied to this Force lesson, and that was my main problem with the episode. I know, guys, it's a kid's show, but this is something I talk about with Power Rangers all the time when I review it, is that I'm not necessarily opposed to the lessons, I just think you need to disguise it more. But this, like, episode's lesson, it wasn't even a problem about the lesson, it was just how forced it was. Because there was this main plot in the episode about Ben being tired of being helped by Gwen and Max, and he wanted to work alone, so it was about him learning that he needs to appreciate them because of this other Ben that didn't appreciate it after he lost them. And that's fine, but it created this weird forced villain where it didn't make sense. So he's like, okay, so I lost Gwen and Max, so I'm going to take all the Omnitrixes away from the other Bens. Wouldn't he, if he was going to be twisted and like that mentally snapped him, wouldn't he want to take away the Maxes and Gwens? I thought it was stupid. But also it was awkward because the episode right before this, the Generator X one, the whole plot was about Ben not wanting to lose Gwen and Max as partners when they go back to regular school life. So these not only happened back to back, but they aired basically back to back within a day of each other. So it's weird to see these competing lessons. And I know kids can be fickle and change their minds, but it felt really awkward to have an exact opposing motivation, which kind of ruined the villain motivation for me. It also felt very derivative of Eon's character and the plot that they used for Eon in Ben 10,000 Returns during Ultimate Alien, and I don't know why they didn't just make him Eon, because I kind of like that this opened it up to the Omniverse that was introduced in the original series continuity, where all these different Bens happen, and I like that a lot. I love multiverse storytelling. I'm a sucker for it. It was cool to see this Ben brought into that and sort of make it all a part of the big Omniverse created in Omniverse itself. I really liked that, but it was just weird to have this basically discount Alien X Eon. They very easily just could have made him a version of Eon that somehow got an Omnitrix and used the Alien X powers. So those are my only two complaints about it, was the forced lesson and the Sean Connery version, but the forced lesson and the forced weird motivation that it gave the villain out of it. But other than that, I thought it was enjoyable. And for what this series was, if this is the series finale for now, I thought it was decent for it. I would give it a 4 out of 5. But like I said, I hope Ben 10 continues in some form. We'll see. Like I said, let me know what you guys have heard. I haven't been able to find that much as of this recording. But what did you guys think of this episode? What did you think of getting to see all the previous versions of Ben? What do you think of this as a possible series finale of this iteration for now? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell. See you in the next videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.